Singapore is not just a smart city, it's a smart nation, and I think increasingly it is also a smart hub because it is very intertwined in global networks.
More recent years, digital technology has become much more advanced. It's much more of a disruptive force. And you see this in many sectors. For example, in transport, you have Grab, you have Uber, changing the way how transport is done. In retail, you have Lazada, you have Shopee, again, changing how things are bought and sold. Of course, the last 2 years, COVID-19 has accelerated these trends even more. You see a more widespread adoption of digital technology. Companies are realizing that digitalization is not just a benefit, actually it is a must. And we see this even in our own government grants. We know this because in the year 2020, when we had the COVID at its strongest and its highest, the number of grants that we approved in the government went up 5 times. 5 times that of what it was before COVID-19.
Traditionally in the shipping industry, digitalization has always taken a backseat. But I think with the COVID-19 pandemic, it has actually shown that digitalization is indeed absolutely essential. And because of some of the restrictions in terms of travel, border restrictions, in terms of interactions, human-to-human interactions, you will find that the reliance on digitalization gets a lot more pronounced. So in the last couple of years, we've launched a key initiative. We call it digitalPORT at SG. And PORT stands for Portal for One-Stop Regulatory Transactions, which means when ships come in, of course, they have to fill in certain regulatory information so that we can allow them to come and conduct their business within the port. And it used to be that you had to go to 3 different agencies. This particular initiative, we estimate, has saved about 100,000 man-hours per year entirely for the industry.
One of the largest changes that we have seen in terms of how digital technologies has been affecting society and governance really is in the realm of politics, specifically the relationship between governments and their peoples. Increasingly, what is really interesting, and we're seeing a lot of that in other countries, is 3.0 kind of digital governance. Right here, we're talking about, for instance, the use of civic tech to enable citizens to have a greater voice in public decision making. Citizens are able to provide solutions, provide their opinions on different types of legislation.
As we become more digital in our daily lives, our exposure to cybersecurity threats increases as well. With the advancements of technology and the reduction in cost of technology, cybersecurity criminal activities becomes, I would say, relatively cheaper. I think the more subtle challenge is the word expectation. As we become more digitally trained, educated, accustomed to way of living, our expectation of business services has heightened. Our expectation of government services, right, will be pegged and benchmarked against all other private sectors, private organizations that you and I, as consumers, as citizens, are exposed to.
Well, in the next step, the government is very focused on helping Singapore companies build up their digitalization capabilities. It starts with uplifting the broad base of companies, making sure all companies have a basic digital competency, and of course, helping companies in existing businesses transform their business models to compete in this new future economy. And so we have a program called the Start Digital Program, where we work with partners who are natural touch points for these businesses. For example, the bank, or for example, the trade association. At that point in time, we introduce some support packages for them to say, okay, you want to sign up for this, you want to build up this capability, you want to set up these things in place. Through the partner, we can help them do it.
In the next phase, what's more important, because one of the buzzwords is sustainability. And indeed, beyond the administrative sort of efficiency, we need to look at efficiency in terms of operational matters. And that's through using data. Because for us, there's another key initiative, what we call Digital Oceans. Oceans actually stands for open or common exchange and network standardization. Just imagine if you can exchange information on the time of arrivals, time you depart, the time of services required along the way, and even information related to the journey. So for example, navigational information, whether there's going to be a storm here, there'll be bad weather somewhere, and you could avoid those, which then consume more fuel.
The heartening thing we've observed that became really quite evident during the COVID-19 pandemic is the initiative that was taken by people to use tech to provide goods and services to groups of people who are in need. Right? All these are the very positive aspects of collective action. On the flip side, we also see how this attempt to build greater social cohesion, social resilience is being threatened by problems such as hate speech, doxing, and even the cancel culture. I think the danger of that is it can actually lead to the emergence of what I would say an invisible class of citizens. More and more people retreat from the public space into their private chambers of communication where they feel safe and more secure. So I think that has very negative implications for public discourse and social cohesion.
With the digital journey that we all has been going through, right? We all know that we are not confined to our Singapore space. Do we really need to have CBDs? Will our new urban form take a different shape? So I will see the industry to move towards more knowledge base from that perspective. And therefore that call for the entire support system of talent, the entire thinking through of the land use, right, and allocation of our very scarce resource that we have. So very big topic, yeah. But I think we are headed in the correct direction